introduce it. The poem is about change. I'll do the poem and I'll introduce a thing and I'll tell a story, and then we'll do Kiddush and Aleinu and Kaddish, and then I don't think there's going to be announcements, and we'll just do Yigdal. And if Hannah is here and she dafka can't do it on Ne'ilah, which is when I wanted her to do it anyways, I may call her up like after Kaddish Yatom, but before Yigdal, and then sound good? Okay, because okay. It's like a little bit. I'm telling you. I mean, whatever. I don't have to tell you. It's been like, it's like crazy. It's like the world is crazy, and like stuff here is kind of like, you know about Adam Abe's house. It's like it's just like, and that occupies a lot of.
I'm sure.
You know, because he's so close. I mean, he's such a wonderful guy. He's so close to all of those people. It's just like it's like for a corner of the community, it's like really, really consuming. And for me, it's just like it's like life, but it's very sad. It's very sad. What is Nadav doing?
Nadav is with his soldiers right now.
Is he deployed? What does that mean? Is he?
They're still not. They're like right in the end of their training. So meanwhile, they're just waiting.
Yeah.
But one of the soldiers that was killed studied with him in Himmelfarb in his class, from the 8 soldiers, and they were actually good friends. And one of his officers, Nadav's officer, his best friend was also killed. So he's off. Nadav's like switching him now because he went. It's the reality is just.
Did you read?
Painful.
Recently I met Amir Tibon. Do you know who that is?
Yes, Amir Tibon.
He's a Haaretz reporter.
Yeah.
He wrote this book, The Gates of Gaza.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I've connected with him in a variety of ways. I met him recently, and his brother is married to my literary agent, and
okay.
so in the book that he just wrote this book, which is The Gates of Gaza. Do you see this? It's coming out in Hebrew. He wrote it in English, and so it's coming out in Hebrew. It's the story. You know his story. He was like, do you remember that story from October 7th?
What? The Tibon?
Noam Tibon.
Noam Tibon. So what is he for Noam Tibon?
He's his son.
Oh, okay.
So he's the guy that did you hear this story? Like, it was on 60 Minutes. A lot of people in the States heard. You didn't hear this story?
No.
Oh, so he lives in Nachalos.
Okay.
And the story is like incredible. You should Google it after. He was texting his father from the safe room, and he realized, nobody's coming. So Noam Tibon,
And
he said, okay, I'm coming. And he basically personally, like went down there and delivered. And the story is great. So he wrote this book about the story, which is also better. But there's this moment in the book where it's just, he told me this like 2 days ago, because he was in town. So when they get out of the safe room, finally, there was like, he had like these
few hours now. Most places cancel, like most flights.
Are you a popsicle? Are you?
Well, no, so the.
Hi, nice to see you. What sticker?
Miss Tennis Champion.
Hi. How are you?
That's me.
I know it is. You're like the super champion.
No.
That's they're not 100% sure. Like I said, I read this book, they cried. Yes, and also we think.
Or you just asking
I
me.
don't know exactly who it was. It's a great. It's coming. It's coming, and it's. He wrote it in English, which is kind of incredible to me, and then he's translating it into Hebrew.
Yeah, it's
Does it feel good, like sort of like you feel like I'm doing one company here?
yeah. Yeah. That's the
That's my
you're
favorite kind of
exactly
popsicle.
how,
Forget the stickers.
nice being here.
Forget the stickers. Those are my favorite popsicles.
Not used to not being in Israel.
Hi.
I could wear this. I told you, I like that.
Side.
Sandra brought me one from India.
One on what?
I got one.
You could just, maybe you can get an Indian.
Maybe when I come over to your house, you would. Very uncertain.
Just say hi, Tova.
Slows down
That's your playing well.
What was yesterday? I never answer the door. I'll be standing right next to the door and I will answer. What do you want? Oh.
Oh, no, it's week after.
Really?
No, they're the game. Are you a baseball fan?
Maybe give it one or two, few more, couple more minutes. No, I know. Maybe give it 2 more minutes. We're gonna do 2 more.
You know, as I say, that it dates back.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of Jews.
We can see that.
Other which like executive director of the same
Yeah. Right, I mean.
Just a quick check.
No, 85.
Christmas Day wedding. Perfect day.
Ay, 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 ay. called Anatomy by Adi Kesar. Kol hazman medabrim al halev. Everyone always speaks about the heart. Umay maklayod. But what about the liver? Hen lo yodot lehov. Do they not also know how to love? Didn't all the chocolate words that were spoken to us melt in it? And the fingernails, don't they bloom like flowers when the blood says spring? And don't the bowels hold all the words that were hurled at us like heavy stones? Don't the lungs remember the moment they chose us from all the people in the world? And the navel, doesn't it feel how they cut the cord? And we were torn from the person we once lived in and now lives inside us. Kol hazman medabrim al halev. And everyone always speaks of the heart. We begin on page 5 or 48. Please rise.
Hi, 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 הוא מעביר יום ומביא לילה, הוא מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד, ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני. איי 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 כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, בהם נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני. איי 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 ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך
וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטפטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למעלה.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
On page 7.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש בוקע הים לפני משה זה לי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
Page 9 or 57 in the transliterated Siddur.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפועל סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Please rise. תקראו בחודש שופר בכסל ליום חגנו כי חוק לישראל הוא משפט אלוהי יעקב. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולם וירח וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לעילה לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דבירה בעלמא ויאמרו אמן.
The silent Amidah is on page 11 or 61. Though it is also a most appropriate time for private prayers and reflections.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל, ויאמרו, ויאמרו, אמן.
Swan by Mary Oliver. Did you see it, drifting all night on the black river? Did you see it in the morning, rising into silvery air? An armful of white blossoms, a perfect commotion of silk and linen as it leaned into the bondage of its wings. A snowbank, a bank of lilies. Biting the air with its black beak, did you hear it? Fluting and whistling, a shrill, dark music, like the rain pelting the trees, like a waterfall knifing down the black ledges. And did you see it? Finally, just under the clouds, a white cross streaming across the sky, its feet like black leaves, its wings like the stretching light of the river. And did you feel it in your heart, how it pertained to everything? And have you too finally figured out what beauty is for? And have you changed your life? There is a magnificent teaching from Menachem Nachum of Chernobyl, as I always joke, the second most famous thing to ever happen at Chernobyl, about a verse in the Torah which is describing corpse impurity. What happens when a man dies in a tent? And the Torah says, Zot Torat Ha'adam Asher Yamut Ba'ohel, which literally means, this is the Torah, this is the teaching regarding a person who dies inside an enclosed space, in the context of which certain kinds of halachic laws obtain. And Menachem Nachum of Chernobyl reads the verse differently, punctuates it differently, and in a justly famous interpretive move says, Zot Torat Ha'adam. This is the Torah, the human being. Which is similar to the midrashic idea that each and every Jew has a letter in the Torah, and so without a single letter, a Torah is not a Torah. And so without a single Jew, none of us are Jews. Which is similar to the midrash about how the Torah is written with black fire on white fire. Why? Says Ephraim Lunchitz, a 16th century rabbi. Why? Because it is isomorphic with the human eye. The whites of the eye and the black of the pupil are like a text of Revelation, not a text, but the text, which is why Heschel, our Heschel, his first published book was a book of Yiddish poetry, the title of which was Der Shem HaMefoirish Man, the holy, ineffable name of God, man. Yeah, wow. I think it's wow. Revelation, then, is the act of turning and returning, a profound act of tshuva in which we turn towards one another and are illuminated by the ineffable brightness of someone else, and we see ourselves transformed in that light. Anachnu mishtanim, we are altered. Mishtanim, which is like shana, the same root which means year. like Mishnah, which means to tell, or to tell a story, or to recite, and Lishanot, which means to change. The theme of our High Holiday Story Slam this year, and we'll hear stories from the community throughout, is This Changes Everything. It has been a year of massive changes in the world, and many of them not for the better. But those changes, and this is part of why I think it's so important to hear our stories this year, those changes must not obliterate the profound, profound importance of the changes in our lives and our ability to hear stories of change as revelatory, our ability to recognize the person in front of us as a Torah Shlema, a full Torah, a complete Torah, and the tales of their lives and our lives are sacred texts. So here's my entry. When I was in college, like 20 years ago now, I was one time sitting at a party, and I was sitting there on my laptop. It's a peculiar thing to be doing at a party. And I guess she was a young woman, a girl, who I sort of knew, came up to me at the time and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I don't know." I don't know, I'm looking at the internet, I don't know. I probably said I'm writing a story. That's probably what I was doing, and that's probably what I said. And she looked at me strangely, because it's a strange thing to be doing in the middle of a party at like 11 o'clock on a Friday night in college. And she said, "Are you on the Facebook?" This is back in the days when it had the. And I said, "No, I'm not on the Facebook. What is that?" She said, "Well, it's these things where you put your picture up and then your friends can see your picture and you can look at their picture and see what they're doing like in the dorm." Because that's what the Facebook was for then. It was simpler times. And I said, and I thought to myself, I don't really have that many friends, which is why I'm sitting on my laptop right now, so I didn't know why she said, "You gotta join it." And I'm thinking to myself, but it's not gonna do me any good. It's gonna be me looking at myself. And she said, "Join it." And so she signed me up right there at the party, and then she friended me. And this girl, who I didn't really know, is my first friend on Facebook. A couple of months later, Bill Clinton's coming to town. And we all thought, we're in college, it would be great way to spend the day to see an ex-president talk. Simpler times. So I waited online for many hours to get the free tickets, because it was free tickets, you had to wait online. And waiting with me is another girl that I sort of knew, and then this other girl who I'd friended at on Facebook, she came up and she sort of waited with us, and we talked for a little while, and we all got our tickets. And we started talking, and we decided that we were going to meet up. The girl I sort of knew and the Facebook girl were going to meet up later on at this bar. Okay? And this was sort of like a date maybe, but we're going to meet up at this bar. But before that, I had a poker game. Now, I'm an okay poker player, but not a great poker player because I'm too scared. I understand the game well enough, but I'm too cautious. So I was playing in a poker tournament that night, which I wasn't expecting to win. So I thought for sure I can go meet up with the girls at 10. It's going to be no problem because I'm going to be out of the tournament by 9, and I'll go over and meet them. And I really want to do that. I thought it'd be no problem. So around about 9:15, I'm looking down. I say, well, I still got some chips in front of me. 9:30, I got chips. So I'm getting worried because I'm supposed to be out so I can go meet the girls. So I started playing like a wild man. Sometimes when you play like a wild man, it works. And suddenly it's like 9:45 and I got all of these chips. I'm like the chip leader. And people are going out, busting out. I'm breaking everyone because I'm moving all in on every hand. And they don't know what to do with me. So it's a bad situation, right? Because now it's obvious that I'm not going to get there by 10. And I text the girls. I say, I'm playing poker. It's going to be a while. And finally, at about 10 o'clock, I said to the other gentleman at the table, whatever you need to do, just divide up my chips, give me fourth place, whatever it is, take my chips, because I got to go meet these girls. So I did that. And I left my Bill Clinton ticket on the table. I forgot it. I lost it. I went back later and I lost it. So I met up with the girls. And I said that I had lost the ticket, And I don't know what I'm going to do. So a couple of days later, turns out that one of the girls worked for the newspaper at the time. And so she got like a bunch of extra tickets. So she had an extra ticket. And he knew that this guy who she friended on Facebook, forced to join Facebook, who had no friends, who lost his ticket, needed a ticket. But her thought process was, I don't want to reward the bad behavior of forgetting your ticket, so I'm not going to offer him the extra ticket. So she called everyone in her phone, all of her Facebook friends, to say, do you need this extra ticket that I have? To try to get rid of it, because she's not going to reward the bad behavior. And they all had their tickets, because they were responsible. And then finally, like an hour before Bill Clinton's going on, I get a call on my phone. I say, someone's calling me, which is a rare occurrence. And the voice says, hello. I say, hello, who's this? She said, this is Felissa Kramer. And I know you lost your ticket, and I have this extra ticket. And would you like to go with me? And that changed everything for me. We'll hear many more stories throughout Rosh Hashanah. May they all be transformative, and may we receive them as sacred texts, which they are. We'll continue with Kaddish Shalem on page 19 or 81.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה אמן בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך וביומך ובחיי בכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם יומי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתקדש ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשה ברכו ברכו לעילא לעילא מכל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה באמירה בעלמא אמרו אמן תתקבל צלו טובה וטוב בכל בית ישראל קודם אבוהון דבשמיא ואמרו אמן אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויעשה שלום עלינו
We'll continue with Kiddush. on page 24.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העם ורוממנו מכל לשון וקידשנו במצוותיו ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום הזיכרון הזה יום תרועה מקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ודברך אמת וקיים לעד ברוך אתה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל ויום הזיכרון ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Page 25 or 83.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו גילויי הרצון ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם ולא עלינו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Kaddish Shatom, Owner's Kaddish is 26 or 86. Yit Gadal, V'yit Gadash, Shemei Rabbah. Ve'almad, Ivra, Kirutei, Ve'amlich Malchutei, Ve'chayechon, U'v'yomechon, U'v'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagalau, V'izman, Kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mevorach, Le'olam, U'lalmei Almayah, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei D'Kudsha, B'richu. Le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu yasei shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Yashikov, Tabinam, it's so wonderful to have you and your family here with us in this very challenging time. It's such a blessing for all of us. Shul starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. It is beautiful at the beginning, I promise. So come early and come often. Welcome to the PJC. If this is your first time here, we use both this machzor. We also have transliterated machzorim in the back, so please check those out. And God willing, together this is going to be a beautiful holiday, Shana Tova. It's so wonderful to see all of you. We'll conclude with Yigdal on page 93 or 28.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא בנטל מציאותו אחד בן יחיד כייחודו ואחדותו, אלו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף, לא נערוך אליו קדושתו, קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון בין ראשית לראשיתו, הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו, לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעם אוהב, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו, לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו, צופה ויודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו, גומר לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רק רשעתו, ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו, לפדות מחכה קץ ישועתו, מיטיב חייהם ברוב חסדו, ברוך הדיין שם תהילתו. שנה טובה. שקויה.
Yes.
Yes.